So I met Manuel. I had just turned 17 back in, had to be like 2006. It was my first day in the home, and I saw him walk in. It was hard to miss. He had like this walk that you couldn't miss. Now fast forward a couple hours, and it was dinner time, right? We were sitting at this big table, and Manuel happened to be sitting right next to me. And I was 17, so I was like really picky. I'm used to like my mom's home cooked meals, so I'm like looking at this like homemade. It had to be like shrimp cocktail or something like that. And Manuel's like eating it. And he stops and he looks at me. He gives me this crazy look and he goes, "Hey, you better eat that right now." So these guys were like way bigger than me. I'm like, man. So I'm like over here like forcing myself like eating. Now like a couple hours after that, he finds me and he starts laughing like, "Hey bro, I was just playing. You didn't have to eat that." Like I didn't eat it. Yeah, he was always like playing tricks on me. This one time, I remember my hair was getting longer, and I came up with some clippers, and I told him like, "Hey Manuel, can you like cut my hair real quick? Like before we go into prayer." He's like, "No, let's work out first, and I'll hook you up later, like 5:45." I'm like, "Just do it right now." I was like, "Nah, you gotta wait." So 5:45 came around, so I got the clippers and he started like cutting my hair, and out of nowhere they call us to go into prayer. So I'm like, "Hey, well, finish up real quick." He's like, "Nah, like we gotta go. Just put on a hat." So I put on the hat. We go into the room, and then like we sit down, and he goes, "Hey, take off the hat. You're gonna be wearing a hat in here." So I took it off, and I had like patches all over me. He was always playing tricks on me, but at the same time, like he was always like looking out for me. There were like plenty of times when I wanted to leave the home. And he was always there, like talking to me and reminding me why I was there. And I gotta say that, like, he was a big part of like me, like staying in the home as long as I stayed in there. Because he was a big brother to me. I have a big brother, but he took on that role as a big brother, and he looked out for me. And back then, I was teenager, I had like this like anger issues, I guess, and he saved me a lot because I was like the youngest guy there, and he always diffused the situation. And now that I look back, yeah, he was really doing me a solid, because if I was to go toe to toe with one of those guys back then, yeah, I was gonna be having a bad day. Anyways, man, love you. I appreciate everything you did.
He said he played tricks on him, but Manuel's the reason why I married my husband. So the trick's on me. Through God, we can do anything, and He's going to give me the strength to read this without crying, because with Him, everything's possible. Give me a second. Let me get God's strength right now. There's no perfect words or ways to describe my brother. If you've had the pleasure of meeting him, then you understand. One of the many things that I will miss about my brother is his gigantic heart. His heart was the center of his personality. Everybody says, what was it? It was that love of God. That's what it was. You felt that genuine warmth of his heart. The pain we feel and the loss of my brother is a reminder how much we love him. And I'm thankful for the time I had with him. But I know God has a plan. Isaiah 55, 8-9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor your ways are my ways, says the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. I'm comfort knowing my brother's kicking back with a Father in heaven. Those heaven gates swung open, and my brother walked in, a warrior angel. Those moments we shared with Manuel are more precious memories, and memories are forever. My favorite memory of my brother is his dancing, and he could dance. He knew he looked good. Those memories are precious, and I'll hold close to my heart. Forever in our hearts and never forgotten. I love you, big brother. Thank you. Pastor, I know we're taking long. You guys got nice, comfortable seats, so. First, thank you all for coming today. My name is Adrian. I'm Manuel's sister. Looking around the sanctuary and seeing so many friends and family brings comfort to my heart, knowing my brother Manuel was loved. My brother Manuel always had a big heart, and with his big heart, he only knew how to love big. There was no halfway point in it. When he loved you, he showed it. He was the type of guy who loved making the grand gestures. He loved to always get that dropped jaw look and awe effect, and he did it well. And for us, his sisters, he was always our protector. Since we were kids, he protected me as long as I can remember, up until just a few weeks ago. And growing up, Manuel and I didn't fight all the time like regular siblings. Manuel was never cruel. Not once in his entire life can I remember him ever being mean or hateful. He was always so, well, just Manuel. Just loved big. Now don't get me wrong, he can turn a switch inside himself and turn into a fierce lion ready to strike anyone down who threatens his loved ones. But inside, he was always kind. All my life, we had this understanding between us. Sometimes he didn't have to fully explain the situation. Halfway through, he'd smirk and nod his head in understanding. Okay, all right, I got you. That's what he would tell me. And instead of being a typical big brother tormenting me, picking on his sister, he was always so watchful, shielding. See, growing up in my home, Manuel stepped up to become the man of the house at a young age. My father wasn't present for most of my childhood, teenage years, but I never felt without, because I had my big brother. He was always there. I remember when I was around 10, Manuel was about 14, maybe 15. We had just moved into a new house and I was scared the first few nights. I didn't want to sleep in my room. There was this ominous shadow that used to peer in at night. Later, I learned it was just made by an avocado tree outside the room. But it looked as if a man was approaching, and with the winds it appeared, he would come closer and closer. I had an extra door inside my room that gave direct access to the yard, so I was just frightened. I didn't want to tell my mom I was scared because it was the first time I had my own room. I'd always have to share with my little sister, and if she knew I was scared, she would have made me share a room again and turn that extra room into an extended dining room, which I think that's what originally it was intended to be. So instead I told Manuel, and you know what he did? My teenage brother came in with a baseball bat, sat at the foot of my bed, until I fell asleep every night for almost a week. He told me, Adrian, don't be afraid. I'll always be here. I got you. And he was. Always. Throughout my life, in the bad and good times, I knew I could count on him, day or night, whether he was near or far. When he moved to Hayward, that was hard for me. I was one of the ones who was advocating and helping make the arrangements to get him over there, but I didn't want him to go so far. But I come to terms and accepted that it was better for him to be there and be happy and good, serving God, than for him to be close and falling into old habits again. This was how I can help save his life. I had to let my brother go. But we made a promise. Both ways, we would be there for one another. Just like we were kids. Distance wouldn't stop us. The way I kept my promise was I would go visit as often as I could, and I always tried to take his daughters to see him, because they were his pride and joy, no matter what situation he was in. Even in his darkest times, his daughters would bring him light and purpose. And in return, he'd always make me feel safe, always available for me, no matter what time. If I needed to vent, he was my best friend. A few times I called him in the middle of the night, and he would always pick up or call me back immediately. He'd sound so half asleep, but he would stay on the phone and wake up as I would ramble. I could tell him anything, and he would always listen and talk me off the ledge.
He would ground me. He was my rock. Most of you here know, a year ago I lost my husband, Alonzo. He was my everything. The day he died, my brother was here in Ventura just for that morning to settle some court fees. He came in town the night before and had to turn around and leave back to Oakland at 10 a.m. that morning. I called him crying hysterically around 4 p.m., telling him of my husband's passing. He had just drove 6 hours, and after my phone call, he turned around and drove right back that same night to be there for me. He held me all night as I cried in his arms. I'm here, Adrian. I'm here. I got you. He told me he would always be here for me and my boys, though I also needed him too. And during the hardest time in my life, he stayed with me every day until I laid my beloved husband to rest. And as he had to leave again, I didn't want him to go. Because in that moment, I was the same little girl again that I just wanted my brother to stay and make me feel safe. Only he knew the right words to say to calm me. And he always told me, only through God, Adrian. Only he can give you the peace I wish I could. Only God can heal you. But you better believe I'll be here for all the rest. So he promised me he would call me every day and love my boys as if they were his own. And he was. This last year, we became closer than we ever were in my life. Coming over, always taking care of us. I would FaceTime him to watch Tony's baseball games and send him everyday clips of my youngest, Alexander, and what he was up to now. They grow so fast, and he was my person I showed all of them. And when he would visit, I would have a long list of to-dos for him when he was in town. I figured I might as well take advantage of my handy Manny, as I called him, since he always stayed with me at my house. I told him that fixing things was his new room and board and meal fee. He always did, with his graciousness, working around my house, fixing everything and everything. He loved helping me out. And anything I'd add to his list, all he would say, I got you, kid. It's so unfair that we have suffered so much these past years. But I know in my heart that he and my husband are together in the gates of heaven with our Lord Father. It brings me comfort to know neither of them are alone, and they have each other. They were the best of friends here on earth, and now they're up in heaven watching over us together. I don't know why God had to take you home. I am still feeling selfish, and I want them both here with me. Manuel, I'm at a loss without you. You took parts of my heart that were barely starting to heal. I was already heartbroken, but truthfully, I'm shattered without you here with me to lean on. You were always good to me, the best brother I could have ever asked for, maybe more than I deserved. But I always tried my best to be a good sister to you. I love you, I miss you, and I will always do my best to love your daughters the way you did. I promise I'll be there for them and go the distance just as you would have wanted. And now it's my turn to say, Manuel, I got you.
We have one more memory for everybody that knew Manuel. You guys know how to make a star with 2 fingers? Oh, like this. It's a little easy to do. Yeah.
I want to thank everyone. Most of you know I'm Manuel's mom, and we got his beautiful daughters here. And we want to thank you for coming and sharing his life, memory of his life. Thank you.